The Pentagon is ordering an additional 3,700 active duty military members down to the U.S. Mexico border. They'll join the approximately 2,300 active duty troops stationed there, as well as another 2,000 National Guard members. The troops, who will be deployed over the next 30 days, will help install wire barriers and monitor border crossings. Apprehending migrants, however, will not be part of their assignment. President Trump addressed this in a tweet today, writing, "Tremendous numbers of people are coming up through Mexico in the hopes of flooding our southern border. We have sent additional military. We will build a human wall if necessary." Congress has just 10 days to craft a border security deal that the president will sign. Otherwise, the government could partially shut down again. In Sunday's interview with Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan, President Trump did not rule out declaring a national emergency to fund his border wall.
Would you shut down the government again?
Well, we're going to have to see what happens on February 15th.
And you're not taking it off the table?
Well, I don't take anything off the table. I don't like to take things off the table. It's that alternative. It's national emergency. It's other things. And, you know, there have been plenty national emergencies called.
Joining me now is a group of 3 local reporters from border states. In Texas, we have Dallas Morning News political writer Gromer Jeffers. In California is Melissa Kane. She is a political reporter for our Bay Area station, KPIX. And in Arizona is Dennis Welch, the political editor for our Phoenix affiliate. Welcome to all of you. First, I'd like each of you to briefly tell us what you're watching for on immigration in tonight's speech. Gromer, I'll start with you.
Well, I'm watching to see if the president can find a way out, find a way through the wall that he's built for himself on this border security issue. You know, in the interview you just played, he talked about a state of emergency or other things. What are those other things? What can he say tonight that Democrats will be able to accept and they can reach a deal? If he can't, then we're in the same spot in about a week or so.
Melissa, what about you?
Well, I'm looking to see whether and to what extent he goes into this issue of a national emergency. If you look at the guests that he's bringing tonight, they include 3 women who've had family members killed by undocumented immigrants. They include a federal agent who works in anti-trafficking and a woman who's a recovering opioid addict. So it seems like he's going to be talking more about crime at the border and either laying the groundwork for a national emergency declaration or coming right out and declaring one during the speech.
And Dennis, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with that. I think the thing I'm most watching here is whether or not he lays the groundwork for declaring that national emergency, or he goes ahead and he does that here tonight, because obviously what happens there down at the border happens in the backyard for people here in Arizona. And I know that folks down there, I've spent a lot of time on the border. A lot of folks down there, they don't want this border wall. What they want is more worker visas, more permits. They'd like to see more migrant worker being able to come and move north to work in the farmlands down in southern Arizona. Definitely a lot of people are going to be watching that tonight. I know I am as well.
So, Dennis, President Trump has maintained that he'll let the government shut down again if funding is not secured for a border wall. Arizona ranks 10th among all states in federal contract dollars per capita. Do people in your state feel another government shutdown is worth it for a wall?
Well, I can tell you they did not like the first government shutdown. Unlike previous government shutdowns, this was a very long, protracted shutdown. They missed a couple of paychecks. The economic pain was real. We were getting phone calls day after day from people who worked for the government who were being affected by this, or were contract workers who really took the brunt of all this because they just were not getting paid and there were no promises for any back pay. I can tell you that the appetite for another protracted struggle over the border wall that would potentially, cost them even more money. There's not a lot of appetite for that here in Arizona right now.
And Melissa, as politicians in Washington continue their stalemate over immigration and the border, political leaders in California are taking steps to make their communities more open to immigrants. Tell us about the new plan coming out of San Diego.
All right, so San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer has announced a 5-year plan to try and integrate immigrants into the community better. It includes everything from more soccer games played in San Diego to assistance with bilingual access to social services. Now, so far, and I'll point out that Faulconer is a Republican, at least in name. He's also a very moderate Republican, calls himself a new Republican, working with Democrats in San Diego to put together this plan. So far, though, he's only allocated money to hire one person who's going to be a coordinator. So it remains to be seen how much follow-through there will be with additional resources to this. In addition, a number of people have looked at this rollout for helping immigrants and said, is this for undocumented immigrants, illegal immigrants, or for legal immigrants, which is something more people can get behind. So still a lot of questions about that new plan coming out of San Diego.
All right, Grummer Jeffers in Texas, Melissa Kane in California, and Dennis Welch in Arizona. Thanks to you all.